In our last segment, we went inside the Syrian ghost town in Israel, which is located in the Golan Heights, right on the Syrian border. But close by is a volcanic mountaintop with an overlook from which to see in all directions, named Mount Bintal.
So look on the top right, that's where we're going now, in a few minutes. So, to prove the point that this is a volcano, we are now descending into what? The mouth of the crater. This could be apples. They usually grow here apples. Apples. If it's a pinkish, a white pinkish, it's apples. Apples require cold climate, so the Golan Heights qualifies. Just imagine this erupted one time. Like, St. Helen in America, these craters that you take helicopters tours. They take you into the crater. We did it with a bus. Why do we call it Kofi Annan? It's a pun. It's a pun. Everybody knows who Kofi Annan is, right? He was the Secretary General. Now, the word Annan in Hebrew means cloud. So now we're having coffee in the cloud. You're so high. But it's a pun with a message, meaning Kofi Annan, when he was Secretary General, they started this. Regardless what the UN says, we're staying here. Because there's a settlement, there's a kibbutz below. This belongs to a kibbutz.
All right, here we are on the top of Mount Bintal, making a quick pan from north to south as we look out over into Syria in the distance. If you've seen news reports of some stray artillery shells being fired from Syria into Israel, this would be the area of Syria that they're talking about. Israel is in the foreground and Syria is in the background. And as you might expect, the Israel side is cultivated and prosperous, while Syria has done much less with their land. Now, starting from the south again, you can see that Israeli military base on the top of the next mountain. This shot is at higher magnification, so we will be focusing in more on the border between Israel and Syria. Now here we can see the edge of the Israeli border, followed by a small no-man's zone on the other side. Now as we continue, we can see here that there are Syrian dwellings immediately on the other side of the border. This is because there was a town here originally called Al-Qanitra. And so on the Israeli side, while there is a bit of farming going on, there was an agreement not to build Israeli homes so close to the Syrian border. Here we continue to see the border. Notice the water up here. Both Syria and Israel were blessed by good rains in the spring of 2017, so the grass is green on both sides of the border. So what we are going to do now is take you back in time 2 years to the summer of 2015 and let you see the difference between Israel and Syria. Are you ready? Set? There you go. In the dry season, Israel's cultivated land stands out like a green thumb on the landscape. So when Netanyahu convened the first ever cabinet meeting in the Golan Heights last year, 49 years after the Six-Day War, he said that Israel has worked this land. He said, "We have cultivated it in the last 49 years, while Syria did nothing with it in the 19 years that they had full control of the land." And then he said, and let me put it to you like a Texas rancher might say it, Y'all can go and carve up Syria into whatever pieces you want, but ain't none of them new fences gonna be trespassing over my land unless over my dead body. I am from Texas, by the way. So off in the distance would be the road to Damascus. There's a sign on top of the hill that shows the direction and distance to the various cities from here. Damascus is only 60 kilometers or 40 miles from this spot. Now you can see the snow-capped peaks of Mount Hermon, which, as you can begin to see here, is not a single mountain at all, but a snow-capped ridge. Now, some of the United Nations observers come into view. Sometimes they talk to the tourists. In this case, they were talking to each other. The guy on the right was busy telling to the other two newcomers what his view of the conflict was with Syria and how he saw it. And he was just getting to what was going to be the good part when he saw that I had a video camera with me, and that essentially shut down the conversation. In our next segment, we will turn and look out on the other side of this hill. And I think I just may have to break down and tell you how some Israelis describe this United Nations observer station, a perspective that you would never find on the History Channel. So do stay with us, and until next time, shalom.